All right, next question is number 6 from Eric the Nomad. What is your view on cannabis? I know you love wine. Do you think cannabis can be used in a similar way, minus the life lengthening effects? For example, consuming small amounts at night or during the day. I'm not a big expert in this area. I do know the substance and THC. I'm familiar with all of that. You can look at the drug and see both very successful and very unsuccessful examples of users. One of my very good friends has a big jar of different types of species or breeds, and it says, "Thank you for smoking." This is in California, where he has a medical license. He's one of the most successful investors in the world. He is an incredibly smart, incredibly productive guy. But you have to ask, and this is true whenever you see a correlation. For example, NFL players, a lot of them, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's. Their diets are horrible. Horrible, horrible. And the question you have to ask in both cases is, are they successful because of this behavior, smoking pot, eating McDonald's, or are they successful in spite of what they are doing? It's very difficult to determine one way or the other without a proper controlled test. There are a few downsides. So I would say a little bit of pot, I don't see a big deal. I don't smoke. I have some lung issues from being born premature, so I don't smoke. I don't feel like buying a vaporizer. I may or may not have had a pot brownie, my first at TED. I may or may not have then had a second after the host gave it to me, saying, "Oh, if you don't feel anything now, 20 minutes later you should have another." And then a few hours later, after being fed drinks by an unnamed, or a CEO who shall not be named, I may or may not have been hit by all of that marijuana at once while in the lobby of a huge hotel where Tori Amos and Ikebukuro, famous ukulele player, and a bunch of other musicians had spontaneously put on a jam session. There were hundreds of people around them, and there was a small circle around the musicians. A girl said to me, "Oh, you know what? Maybe you should breakdance. Don't you breakdance?" And I thought that was a wonderful idea. So I went out, the only person, and then proceeded to breakdance in front of a few hundred people while Tori Amos and other people tried to play music. I may have done that. In any case, I digress. I was actually pretty amusing. This same investor I mentioned before, you can hear very loudly on one video saying, "What the fuck?" Good times. It has a few detrimental cognitive effects that I want to highlight. One of them is that it causes suppression or depletion of something called vasopressin. Vasopressin is an antidiuretic hormone that also is implicated in the formation of short-term memory. Alcohol has a similar effect. This is why people lose their memory, can't remember what happened, or black out in many cases with both alcohol and, alcohol, the blackouts, harming your memory with marijuana is due in part to the vasopressin connection. So, like anything else, use responsibly, but I would, certainly for mental performance, I can think of some better drugs out there. For anxiety reduction, if you're using the right breed and you're not going to take something that's going to turn you into paranoid, you know what? I don't have a particular issue with it. Obviously, if you are breaking the law, the legal side effects can be much, much more severe than the physical side effects. And those are my thoughts on cannabis. Next question coming up.